Hey everyone, this is Shark. It's been a while, but I want to start making some videos again for Shiren the Wanderer. Shiren 6 specifically to start with. That's Shiren the Wanderer, the mystery dungeon of Serpentcoil Island. And instead of continuing the Switch version for now, I'm just going to start over with the Steam version on a new save file. So I went ahead and got past the tutorial fight, and yeah, the goal of this new series is going to be to actually clear every single dungeon, including the DLC dungeons and update dungeons, instead of like losing interest and getting distracted and stopping the series halfway through like I usually have done. So, and what I also want to do is, each time I clear a dungeon, I want to clear it a second time playing as Asuka, the DLC character. Because I just think that'd be more interesting or fun. There doesn't seem to be much Asuka content out there right now in English, so yeah, anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So this is literally just after the tutorial with Jakaku, and I haven't even picked up the onigiri from Grandpa Uzu, as you can see. What a generous, kind old man, Grandpa Uzu. That's how I'll thank him. Yeah, no items. And nothing in the storehouse, or warehouse rather. As you can see. So yeah. And this time I'm going to try to be a little speedier instead of like showcasing farming techniques that probably are overkill for the main story, so I'll do my best to explain as I go, but I do have a tendency to like stop talking if I get like really focused, so that might happen, but I'll try my best to keep the flow going. So when you start Shiren 6, main story, you start with an onigiri and that's it, if you didn't bring anything. And the way this game works is, like every time you take an action, like if you move a step or if you attack, the world around you moves one turn as well. And if you don't do anything though, like the world doesn't move. Like monsters don't do anything, NPCs don't roam around, and stuff like that, so it's a turn-based game basically. And one thing that's new in Shiren 6 is that there's an in-game notebook that you can access anytime, and you can do either other look around to access, like this mode where you just look around the room you're in, or you can just tilt the right analog stick, and then if you press start, you can see the stats of the monster that you just interacted with. So Mammal has 8 HP, 3 attack, 4 defense, and offers or provides 2 EXP when defeated. And there's like a vague description of what the monster is capable of doing, which might or might not be very helpful. So we'll be using that as we progress. And so this is a new monster, and since it's a new save file, we haven't registered it in the notebook yet because we haven't interacted with it yet. It's our first time seeing it, so we can't actually look up its stats yet. But if you either attack it or get attacked by it, then like its information unlocks in the notebook. So this one is a bit stronger. It has 16 HP, 6 attack, 2 defense, and offers 7 EXP. And if we look at the message log, which can be done either from, again, other and then message history, or if you press B and Y at the same time, you can just do a shortcut for it. It did 7 damage to us, and we have 8 HP, so depending on RNG, like, we might collapse if we get hit again. So in this case, we want to walk a little bit to regenerate HP, just to be safe. So this is an Octoplane. Has 14 HP, 4 attack, 6 defense, and 4 EXP. And its attack power increases, and it regenerates HP if it's on a water tile. So basically, you don't want to fight it when it's on water. Like, actually, it didn't follow the way I thought it would, but maybe we'll see it stand on a water tile eventually. And this is Gitan. It's the currency of the world of Shiren. And normally, if you walk on an item, you automatically pick it up. But if you hold the dash button, or B in this case, if it's a Switch Pro controller or whatever, you can step on the item instead. And then if you open your inventory and do exchange, you can pick up the Gitan as an item, which can then be thrown as a projectile. And it deals damage equal to 20%, I think, of the Gitan's value, so it's about 200 Gitans, so that'd be about, what, like 40 damage, close to. And sometimes there are roamers, or like NPC characters called roamers, that wander around the floor, and you can interact with them to trade items or receive some sort of service, sometimes by paying a price or something. So this is Shiren the Wanderer. They usually show up around the first few floors of the main story dungeon, and they offer to trade items, so let's go ahead and give them the Gitan we picked up. And we got a knockback staff, so that's a pretty good deal. And another important technique is diagonal movement. Instead of like walking in orthogonal directions like this all the time, you want to move diagonally to conserve fullness, which I'll explain in a second, but because it's equal, like one diagonal step is equal to two orthogonal movements, so it's just a time saver too. But normally fullness is something that depletes by 1 every time you spend 10 turns doing actions. So if we look at fullness, it just decreased from 81 to 80. So then if we take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, that's 10 turns that I spent walking, and fullness decreased by 1. And when fullness reaches 0, your HP starts decreasing every single turn by 1 until it reaches 0, or you replenish fullness somehow. So it's basically a hunger mechanic, and you want to be mindful of that. Like, you can't infinitely linger on a floor and hunt monsters, because like there is this pressure of like you're gonna starve if you don't keep progressing. And the way you progress to the next floor is, if you look at the map, I pressed L to access the map, but the exit shows up as a green square outline. So you can just proceed by stepping on that tile. And the slide explains the icons on the map too. So yeah. And anytime that you find yourself in a room that's like kind of cluttered looking, if you look at the map, it's good to get in the habit of looking around just to get a better feel for what's all in the room. So we're finding a lot of items, and in the main story dungeon, pots and bracelets, those are two item categories that are unidentified when you find them. So they have a randomized name that changes each time you enter a dungeon. And so in this adventure, this item is called Dented Pot. And we don't know what it is, so it has a yellow name and a question mark. But if we go ahead and try using it, it's a tap type pot, so instead of inserting items you select tap and then something happens as a result. So it's a rejuvenation pot, and now it's identified because we tried using it, and with tap type pots, using the item automatically identifies it. So, and this pot fully restores HP and strength and cures status ailments. So it's a pretty handy pot. And we also found a golden sword, which you can either press X or select it and then select details to access this menu. But it has a brief description of the ability and like any resonance effect and stuff like that, which resonance is like if you equip specific weapons with specific shields at the same time, like a bonus effect occurs. It's a little, I guess, advanced, so don't worry about it for now. But okay, so this Octopling is on water right now, and if we remember, attack power increases when it's on water. So let's see how much damage it does to us. 8 damage. And when it's on land, 4 damage. So that's an example of like being mindful of strategy or like enemies' abilities and stuff like that. And since we have a fortune grass and a knockback staff, I can show something fun. But before that, I'll show the HP regeneration rate. And right now we're at 12 HP. And every time we take a step, we regenerate 1 HP. And that's because in Shiren 6, which is this game, between levels 1 and 9, HP regen speed is 1 HP per turn, but if you reach level 10, it speeds up to 2 HP per turn, so it's based on level. Okay, and this is what I wanted to show. This is a pit mammal, which, if you notice, this has level 1 and level 2 for pit mammal. So mammal is level 1. It's the same family, but the monster strength is a little bit higher with the pit mammal. And we see that level 3 and level 4 are currently unknown, but you can actually control enemy levels. It's not like monsters, basically like monsters can change level based on your actions too. And Fortune Grass happens to be an item that increases level by 1. And you can use it yourself to level up by 1. So if I select use, I would eat the grass and then I'd go from level 3 to level 4. But if I throw it at a pit mammal, it levels up and becomes a cave mammal, so it's a level 3 mammal now. And we don't have it registered in the notebook, so we don't know what it's capable of, but I'll just go ahead and spoil it this time. Cave mammals have 100 attack power, but only 5 HP, and offer like 2,000 experience points. So if we swing this knockback staff, if you look at the description, it says knocks targets hit with a magic bullet back 10 tiles. If the target runs into something, it takes 5 damage. So 5 HP minus 5 from the staff would mean 1 collapsed cave mammal. And then we jumped straight to level 10 instead of only gaining 1 level from the fortune grass. We effectively gained like 7 levels by doing that. So this game is pretty much all in how you use the items and knowing the monsters, and basically just knowing the game to like edge out advantages as best you can. And another thing about items that we have on hand, you can use herbs or otogiriso or like other healing items, healing grasses, to heal HP when you have less than your max HP. Or you can eat it when you're at full HP to increase your max HP too. So right now we have 54 HP. If we eat an herb at full HP, it's now 55. So that can be a nice trick to get a head start with increasing max HP early on too. And this is a monster called Pump Phantasm. It's pretty tough for the 3rd floor usually. And I'll show you why. Like, by getting hit by it, it dealt 17 damage to us without a shield, which is a lot of damage, especially if we like didn't do that trick to hunt a cave mammal. Like that probably would have been most of our HP. And it has quite a bit of HP as well. And if we look up the monster, 23 HP, 16 attack, 10 defense, and 25 experience points. And Spearfish was 6 attack, so 6 versus 16. And that was a Chintala, which is like a stronger mammal basically, but it doesn't have any special attacks either. So, found quite a few items. And I think I saw a red dot, so we can look around. And as you can see, one ability that Pump Phantasms have is that they can pass through walls and move on top of air tiles. So while we can't enter this like rocky area, Pump Phantasm can. And they can just float around. And sometimes they don't attack even if they're adjacent, like they're pretty, I guess, moody. And the reason I'm picking up Gitan like this, there are 2 reasons actually. One is, like, if we were playing normally, like without being able to hunt a cave mammal that early, one way to deal with Pump Phantasms is to throw Gitan at them, because that usually is enough to one-shot them. And if you noticed, the Gitan bag I threw, it was just like a random coincidence, but it bounced after hitting the wall to the right, so that meant that there was a hidden trap there, which I revealed by attacking above the trap tile. And because normally when you throw an item, it just bounces on the tile that is adjacent to the wall. And if you find a trap against the wall like that, you can actually throw items against the wall to trigger it. And that lets you collect arrows. Like this. So it's another example of taking something that might seem bad at first, like a trap, and turning it into an advantage. And each time a trap activates, there's a chance that it'll break. But so far we're getting kind of lucky, because it hasn't broken. And this is an enemy called Frago. It's modeled after a Gamaguchi purse, and that's why it looks the way it does. Anyway, when it's adjacent to you, it can steal Gitan, and then it warps and runs away from you at double speed. So it moves 2 tiles every turn instead of 1 tile. And if you defeat it, it either drops a fresh Gitan bag, or if it stole from you, it drops the stolen amount. So, and if you have 0 Gitan, like what we do right now, in your wallet, I'm not talking about the Gitan bags in your inventory, but like your actual wallet in the upper right, it won't be able to steal Gitan, so you can guarantee that it drops a fresh bag every single time you defeat it. So that was the second reason why I'm exchanging Gitan instead of picking it up normally. So the trap broke and we were able to collect 24 arrows from it, so that's quite good. And found a shield. That's nice. And since we did get a head start on level ups, we're able to one-shot most enemies for the time being, but it won't stay that way. And Identifier Scroll is a scroll that can be used to identify unidentified items. So in this case, I read it on the thin pot, and it turned out to be a preservation pot. And preservation pot is a pot that lets you insert and take out items. So normally, like pots, if you insert items, like you won't be able to take them out, but preservation pot lets you take them out after inserting them, so it's basically just like inventory space expansion. So I'm gonna go ahead and linger a little longer to see if I can get one more Gitan bag from Frago, which we were able to do. And by default, when you sort your inventory by pressing Y, Gitan is not sorted. But if you change the game setting to turn on Gitan Sort, if you press Y, it adds it to your wallet instead of like carrying it around as items. So I just went ahead and did that because I know there's a shop coming up in this next village, so they don't have a whole lot of items here, but they have a few that are useful. I think I'll go ahead and sell the knockback staff and buy Porky's Rocks and Confusion Scroll, maybe some Windblade Scrolls and the Fixer Scroll. No, that's too much. I want these three for sure. And I'd like to upgrade at the blacksmith, so this village has a blacksmith. It costs 1,000 Gitan, but I need to sell something. I'll sell a Windblade Scroll, so now we have enough. And this is the village blacksmith. You can upgrade either a weapon or a shield, and it adds +1 to its upgrade value, which just increases the item strength by 1. But on rare occasions, it increases by, I think, 3. So this is just a plain old iron shield, so I feel like we might be able to find a better shield, so it'd be pointless to upgrade it, but Golden Sword already has some upgrade value, it's +3, so I'll upgrade that one instead of the shield. And you can only use the blacksmith services once per adventure, so during this run, like, we can only pay him to upgrade once, and then we have to wait until like our next visit to use his services further. Okay, so now we're in Mount Jingara Ascending, which is a foresty area, as you can see. And this area has various ninjas. Like, you saw Earth Ninja D and Fire Ninja D. D is just like the lowest. It denotes the rank of the ninja, and it's like basically the level 1 ninja. And Earth Ninja, as you just saw, can disguise itself or hide inside earthen pillars, I think they're called. And if you attack the pillar with a projectile or something, you can reveal their disguise, and there's actually an achievement for that too. But otherwise, like, if you don't have a projectile, you can walk next to it and it'll do an ambush attack instead. And so this time, the trap is not against the wall, so if we shoot projectiles, like, we won't be able to collect arrows like we did before. But if you throw a Porky's rock, or like some other type of rock, it always lands 3 tiles ahead. So you can do this to collect arrows as well. But it's rather tedious, so I'm not gonna collect more arrows at the moment. And one trick you can do, if you have an onigiri or rotten onigiri, and there are fire ninjas around, you can lure it to use its fire special attack around a corner like this, and it'll turn the onigiri or rotten onigiri into a grilled onigiri, which restores 75 fullness, which is more than those items normally would, and it also restores HP by 40 when you use it, so it's like an early game healing item basically. Kind of handy. So we found another revival grass, not bad. That's just a grass where if it's in your inventory when you collapse, or like when your HP reaches 0, it automatically revives you, so. And this bracelet is unidentified. We don't know what it is, but normally like it'd be a little risky to equip unidentified equipment because there are things called curses, but the main story actually doesn't have cursed items in the regular route, so there's not much risk in equipping. So we can try to figure out what it is. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think I can tell what it is just from equipping it right away. Might have to come across another identifier scroll or something. And you might notice that since our level is above 10, or 10 or higher, our HP regenerates at 2 per turn, so we're having an easier time than normal here, just from that aspect too. And this is a character who takes items back to the warehouse for you in Shukuba Beach, which we went inside before heading out on this adventure. So if you have like important items and you're not confident that you'll be able to clear the dungeon, you can just give him your item and he'll take it back. Yeah. I don't think we need to use his services now though. And if you hold ZR and input a direction, it does this thing called Handy Dash, which automatically like makes Shiren move towards points of interest or room entrances or navigate hallways, that type of stuff. And I'm not sure what this pot is. It's an egg pot, it says. So I'm going to insert a wooden arrow to start with. Okay, the wooden arrow changed into a different item, so it's a transmutation pot. So I'll just keep inserting items for now. Single arrows, that is. So this is what we ended up with. Confusion Grass, Dragon Killer, Heavenly Scroll, Identifier Scroll, and Poison Grass. Let's go ahead and name this. I'll just do TR for transmutation. I don't want to type the whole thing out. So I'll throw that. And Dragon Killer is a pretty strong weapon. 9 base value compared to our Golden Sword, which is 3. So I'll just go ahead and switch to that. And I think I saw an identifier scroll too, so we can identify this bracelet. Water Walk, okay. So this is a bracelet that allows us to walk on water tiles, but scrolls and onigiri in your inventory that aren't inside pots will get wet when you do that, so you have to be a little careful. And to free up inventory space, I'm just gonna eat the onigiri soul to increase max HP instead of saving it for a healing opportunity. And plating scroll can be nice on a weapon because plating adds this rust-proof rune to the weapon, which prevents upgrade value from decreasing from rust trap or monster special attacks. And it also increases the accuracy of normal attacks by, I think, 2%. So it just makes your normal attacks a little more consistent or reliable. And Heavenly Scroll should be read on a weapon to increase its upgrade value. So now it's a Dragon Killer +1. And this is an enemy called Hop and Hitter. It has a 30% chance of hitting projectiles and staff magic bullets back at the attacker. But even if it fails to reflect the item, it still won't actually get hit by the item. So the item just lands nearby instead. So basically, like, your ways to deal with it are a little more limited compared to every other enemy. And I think I'll just go ahead and send this golden sword back to the warehouse, because we don't need it taking up inventory space. And it's a little too nice to, like, just discard it. So with that said, we'll keep progressing. So, more ninjas, and this is Tree Ninja. It has a special attack that, if he uses it, it deals knockback damage, or knockback plus 5 damage, so it's kind of like getting hit by a knockback staff yourself. Well, I wanted to showcase it, but it wasn't really cooperating, so... And Hop and Hitters hit very hard for this stage of the game. So you want to keep your HP kind of topped up. And Hyakuya is here again, so we could send another item with him, but... Earthly Scroll. That's the shield counterpart to Heavenly Scroll. So in other words, it increases shield upgrade value by 1 when you read it, or 3 if you're lucky. And I'm still hoping that we'll find a better shield than Iron Shield, so I want to save this Earthly Scroll for later. So in the meantime, maybe we can do something like hunt more monsters for item drops, hopefully. Okay, so this is a water ninja, a new type, and it can shoot water from up to 3 tiles away, which deals 5 damage and makes your inventory get wet. And if we look at the message log, the rust-proof rune that we added to our weapon prevented it from rusting, so upgrade value didn't decrease, but it normally would have. And the way you avoid getting hit by this guy, like if I were to take a step forward, it would use its special attack again because it's within range of its 3 tile ahead rate, like attack range. I'll show you. It has 100% special attack usage rate when you're within range. So the way to counter that is to like zigzag your movement or like go up and down to lure it closer. And once you're adjacent, it won't use its special attack ever. Because it has a 0% usage rate when it's adjacent. So that's one of the risks of dashing when there are ranged enemies, or enemies with ranged attack, capable of ranged attacks around. And I was hoping for like one more item drop maybe, but don't think we're gonna get lucky. So in this case, instead of stepping forward, I would step to the left or right to make it adjacent. And wet scrolls dry off when you advance to the next floor, so it's not too big of a deal. It's not like they're permanently lost or something. And one annoying thing about fire ninjas is that they burn items that are on the ground. So on turn 4 of this floor, you can see that message, the item on the ground was burned. That means a fire ninja burned like a grass or staff item. Unfortunately. Another preservation pot. Oh yeah, and they can also grill onigiri. That are on the ground, I mean. And so this is, we haven't fought it yet, but if we get hit by it, we can look it up. It's a mid-Chintala, which is like a bigger version of a Chintala. It has 45 HP, 23 attack, and 10 defense, so pretty high attack power at this point, and can usually withstand like a hit or two before you are able to defeat it, so one of the enemies you want to be careful of. And this is a metal ninja, which it throws Gitan, which deals fixed damage based on the Gitan's value. And at level 1 it doesn't deal too much damage, but one characteristic about it is that it always drops Gitan. And if you can defeat it without it having used its special attack too much, the amount of Gitan it drops is higher. So you can try to defeat it without letting it use its special attack from a distance, and it's like Water Ninja basically, but it throws Gitan instead of water and has longer range. And so what happened here is Earth Ninja used its sand attack, and It can only use it when it's adjacent to you, but it has a small chance to inflict blind status, which is what happened here. And blind status automatically wears off after a number of turns elapse. So what I did was I held B and A to like pass turns without moving. Oh. Yeah. You really do want to be careful when water ninjas are around, because losing upgrade value makes fights harder, like in general. So maybe this way? No. Okay. If it's a one-on-one fight, like blind status doesn't hinder you too much, but if there are multiple enemies around, it can be a pretty big problem. And I'm putting onigiri, like large onigiri, into pots to prevent them from being grilled or turned into rotten onigiri by water attacks. Just a way to preserve them. And I think that's about it for this floor range. So I'll continue to Small Harbor. This is the second overworld village area of the main story dungeon. And it also has a shop that specializes in single item categories instead of being a mixed item category shop. And every time you visit, it's a random selection. So today is apparently bracelets. So I'm gonna go ahead and sell some items first before checking it out. And we have a lot of bracelets to choose from, and they're all unidentified because that's just the way they are in this dungeon. Bracelets and pots are always unidentified when you come across them. And 6,500, this is just like game knowledge that I happen to have, but it's always a cleansing bracelet, which prevents poison from decreasing your strength. 2,500 could be either monster find, item find, or I think rousing, maybe, bracelets, or maybe cannon boost, something like that. So they're a really good one to try to identify. And Water Walk is already identified because we found one earlier. And 4,000 is usually either Fortune or Focusing Bracelet, I think, but that's the type of thing, like, you can look at the wiki's price chart or something if you need help at first. But as you play the game, you'll like start to notice how much things cost and stuff like that. And this is one of the side quests or like side plots that you can trigger by like checking out certain overworld spots or talking to certain people. So just approaching the dock here triggers that event. It's not mandatory, but it's good to get it started. So let's see. I probably don't need a Water Walk bracelet, honestly, so I'll go ahead and sell that. And sell that. Sell some arrows. So we can buy one 2,500 cost bracelet, and we don't know which is like the good one, so it's just a 1 in 3 chance of finding something good. Hopefully we found a monster find, but if not, oh well. And it would be good to visit the inn for 500 Gitan too, so maybe we can sell something else, like antidote grass and what else? No, we do want Earthbound Staff. I guess we don't need Windblade. And what else? No. I always like end up thinking too much when I have to sell stuff. These are all good items. Mapping scroll might not be necessary, but I guess we don't need Windblade. There. Since we're at 25 fullness, I figure like we should visit the inn to replenish fullness before heading out. Okay. There we go. And we found a large onigiri, so that's nice. Our food situation is looking a lot better. And we do have the new bracelet equipped, but I'm not seeing either items or monsters on the map, so I don't think it's either monster find bracelet or item find bracelet. So I think we kind of got unlucky, and it might be a cannon boost bracelet. So we can go ahead and sell it actually at this point, because cannon boost bracelet is pretty useless. I'll just label it as X to show that it's nothing noteworthy. Preservation pod, that's good. I'm still hoping we'll find a better shield. And that looks like a poison arrow trap, so we can throw rocks at it. Oh. Well, the arrow fell into the water, but normally we'd be able to collect some poison arrows, like so. Not sure it's worth it for the main story dungeon, but I just want to show arrow collection again, because it's always something like you can watch out for. And poison arrows reduce attack power, so right now, fresh octopling, if it's adjacent to an enemy when the other enemy is defeated, its attack power increases. So if we shoot poison arrows, we can decrease its attack power back down. And I need to heal, so I'm going to deprioritize fighting it. Oh, that's not good. Let's see. This is a baby tank, and it has very high attack power, enough to probably one-shot us if we get hit by its arrow. And it also moves 2 times per turn, so being a level 3 monster, it's kind of tough. We do have 2 confusion scrolls. One thing we could do is create an Earthbound staff, and the AI is not smart enough to try to go around this pillar, so we can retreat into a hallway. Or better yet, if we continue to step in place here, eventually what will happen is arrows will start landing on our side of the wall. Like that. And then you can just pick up iron arrows for free. So this is another way to collect arrows from any of the bow boy, I think it's called, family monsters. And it's a little faster than the trap method, as you can see. We're already up to 20 arrows. I'll maybe go to like 50 or 60 and then stop, but... So yeah, keep an eye out for Earthbound staff. If it's like around the floor range where this family of monster appears, because it lets you farm arrows for free. Okay, that's 50. And it also has a tendency to not attack when it's adjacent in a hallway, unless it's unless there's like an enemy behind it, so you can safely defeat it by luring it into a hallway. So very dangerous if it's in a room, but otherwise it's not too bad. Let's go ahead and upgrade the dragon killer again. We don't need a wooden arrow. So if we, let's see, get exactly 100 Gitan, I can do something fun. I think that's 5 rocks. Yeah, okay. So right now our wallet is at 300 Gitan. If I buy this collection scroll, we'll be at 0 exactly. And we can then read a fixer scroll, And when you have 0 Gitan and you read this scroll, it gives you somewhere between 3,000 to 5,000 Gitan. So we're back up to 4,500 now. So that's another little trick you can do with items. That said, I don't actually need any of the items that are for sale, so... Oh. And you generally want to like regenerate HP before descending stairs, if you have the chance. Oh, look at that. A water walk bracelet would have been nice. But we do have a collection scroll, so we can still get these items. I'll wait to read it until we're at the stairs, though. Another shop. Narrow escape. So, equipping this bracelet made the red dots appear on the map, and unequipping it makes them no longer appear. So this is a monster find bracelet, which is really good. Yeah, it's a little too powerful I think though, so I'm going to not use it this run. I'll just keep it in a preservation pot. Because you can't really count on finding it in any given run, so it's better to pretend we didn't get it, I think, in terms of a video guide. Oh. There we go. But I will try to take it home, at least, back to Shukuba Beach, because it will come in handy for later. And Belly Expand Seed is just an item that increases max fullness by 5. Nothing too special, but at least during the main story. And even with the rust-proof room, like, when you miss, like, you're gonna miss multiple times in a row, so, like, it just happens. I mean, even with the increased accuracy. And that was a masked samurai that we just defeated, which revives as this guy, Ghost Samurai, after a number of turns pass. And this thing has 4 HP. So it's pretty not too difficult to defeat, especially if you like throw a Porky's Rock, which deals a fixed 20 damage. But the tricky thing about it is that it looks for other monsters, and then like there's a Boboy there. It levels it up when it's adjacent to it, so if you let them roam around, like, just anywhere, it can end up being quite a problem, depending on the monster it levels up. we finally did find a shield that's 1 point stronger than a iron shield, so I'm gonna go ahead and switch to the golden shield. And might as well read the earthly scroll, I guess. And golden shield is kind of nice because it's rust proof innately, so you don't need a plating scroll to add the rust proof rune. And this is a monster called Mudkin, which decreases upgrade value by 1, so normally when it's adjacent you want to unequip your items and then like use regular punches. But if you have the rust proof rune, like you don't need to unequip the item, so that's nice. And let's see, this is a tap type pot, but we already found rejuvenation, so it could either be a walrus pot or maybe a monster pot, I think. So I'll just, while I'm on top of the stairs so that we can escape right away, if it's a monster pot, I'll try using it. So it is a monster pot, which means since the pot had a capacity of 4, that means 4 monsters appear around you. So I'll just descend the stairs instead of dealing with them. And this is an item called Silver Arrow, which pierces through targets like this. So kind of nice, you can attack multiple targets at the same time. And when a ghost samurai possesses another ghost samurai, like, it's pretty inconsequential. So it's fine if you defeat 2 of them, like, near each other. Oh. That's not too good. Raging Samurai is a level 2 masked samurai, and it has very high attack power and pretty high HP as well. If we look at the notebook, 100 HP, 45 attack, and 37 defense, so it's not a good idea to fight it without items. So in this case I'll use a sluggish staff to slow it down, and then you can just have a one-sided fight, assuming nothing comes up behind you as you're retreating. There we go. And this overworld area just has a blacksmith, and we don't have enough Gitan to use it, so I'm just going to skip it. It's 1,500 to use it, so unfortunately we don't have enough. And a little story scene. And 13th, the 13th floor always has a thing called Behemoth Gate, and it spawns behemoth monsters, which you can see in the image there. They have very high attack power, so they're usually not worth fighting. And if they detect you, they'll chase you like other monsters too. But if there's a wall in between, even if the tile is adjacent to you, they won't be able to attack directly. And one trick you can do is if you have rocks, like in this case I have Porky's rocks, you can throw them, and assuming they actually hit the target, it one-shots behemoth monsters. So yeah, rocks are very valuable if the dungeon has behemoth gates as possible spawns. And as you can see, enemies hit pretty hard here. This is Metalhead, and it can use normal attacks from up to 2 tiles away in a straight line. So right now it would be able to attack me, so just like Water Ninja, you want to lure it so that it's adjacent instead. And it can also attack through hallway corners too, so like if it was standing there, I'd be able to, or it'd be able to hit me from there instead of like having to step up here. It would just attack through here. And one nice thing about behemoth gates though is that if you, on a floor where they spawn, if you check every single room on that floor, and by check I mean like enter the floor once and then you can leave it, but what am I saying? Oh yeah, it makes the behemoth gate vanish and leave behind an item, and the item is usually pretty high quality. So that's what I'm aiming for right now, by stepping into all the rooms at least once. There might be a room down there, but I'll check upper right first. Okay, so the behemoth gate was over to the left. So unfortunately we're gonna have to walk all the way over there to claim the item that it left behind, but and the next HP regen speed increase occurs at level 20, at which point it increases to 3 HP per turn. So we're level 19 right now, so if we can level up one more time, we'll have a bit of an easier time. So the behemoth gate left behind a special onigiri, which provides a random beneficial like effect, or increases max or increases your strength by 1. But we stepped on a poison arrow trap, so our strength right now is 7 out of 10, or no, 7 out of 8. So I'm going to wait to eat it until we find a way to recover our decreased strength. And I could use a rejuvenation pod to instantly restore strength, but it's kind of wasteful, so I won't use it for that purpose. And as you can see, if there are like single tile pillars in a room, you can use a direct attack to destroy them. And even if you don't have like a pickaxe or a wall digging rune, and sometimes there are hidden items inside the walls, so it's kind of nice if you... Oh, caching pot, okay. So this is an item where inserted items turn into Giton bags that are equivalent to the item's selling price. So if I insert this steel severer, if I look at the notebook, it's worth... The selling price is 1,240 Giton. So I can insert it and it turns into a bag of exactly that much, like that amount. So yeah, that's nice. And I think there was a poison arrow trap over here, so I'll collect a few more poison arrows. We're doing fine on food and stuff, so might as well push the advantage further while we can. And since we have a rejuvenation pot and 2 revival grass, I'm going to use this healing grass to increase max HP instead. And shallow pot, not sure what that could be. I think I'll just leave it for now. And our equipment is still plated, so we can just trade hits with Mudkin. And this is a peddler. I'll just sell it. Swift sword is nice, but it's too expensive. So I don't think there's anything we can really do with this shop. And Floor Dragon, if there's an enemy behind it, it likes to tunnel to like behind you so that it does like a pincer attack. Another revival grass, that's nice. And now we're level 20, so HP regens is 3 HP per turn. And 15F, like the 15th floor, has dark hallways, so visibility is limited. And there's also a random chance of it generating behemoth gates. It doesn't always generate it, but in this case it did, so we have to contend with that. And the stairs is right there, so we could escape, but I'd like to see what the behemoth gate leaves behind again, so I'll check every room. I don't think it'll take too long. There we go. And it happens to be in the stairs room, so that's convenient. Our shield is still quite weak. It's looking a little better. And this is an overworld area, but there isn't anything to do on the first visit, so I'll just skip past it. And Kibanuma Marsh is like the midpoint of this dungeon. So that was an egg thing. That's its actual name, egg thing. I'm not just like vaguely yeah, anyway. It always drops on regular onigiri when you defeat it, so it's kind of nice. Guaranteed food. Another transmutation pot. Caching pot. I guess we could try equipping this bracelet. And can't tell what's different, so I'll keep it unequipped for now. I guess I'll go ahead and insert single arrows into the transmutation pot. Nothing too exciting. Oh. Bad spot to throw. The Onigiri fell in water, but oh well. So that's a thief walrus up ahead, and it likes to steal items that are in their room or from the player and then warp, and then it runs away. And since this, like, it's an aquatic type and it's a water floor, like, it's pretty hard to track it down. So unfortunately I'm just gonna ignore it. Plating scroll, nothing to use it on really. I guess I'll plate the Kamaitachi just because. And we did find the exit already, but I want to look for other items too, so. Ouch. Yeah, Minotaurs can occasionally land critical hits, which can be pretty painful. And that's a pop tank which shoots cannonballs, which deal 20 damage. But it has slow movement, so you can do what I just did to defeat it without taking damage. And this is Hanya Monk, which is like, it inflicts berserk status on other monsters, which make it like other monsters attack enemies instead of the player necessarily. And it causes them to level up, so it's kind of a nuisance. And it has pretty high attack power, so I'll shoot a poison arrow and then get hit by it. Still dealt 14 damage, so poison arrows like have an enemy's attack power, so even at half it was dealing 14 damage, which is pretty strong. Probably don't need a balance staff, honestly. I don't know what this bracelet is, so I'm just going to sell it. Perhaps it was something nice, but there could be a use for Earth Mound still, but actually, yeah, I should probably go pick that back up. Sanctuary Scroll is useful, but basically like you place it on the ground and then while you're standing on it, enemies can't use normal attacks against you, but they can still use ranged attacks or special attacks if they aren't like adjacent targeted ones. And once you place it on the ground, you can't pick it up again. So in this case, like if I stand on this, I won't be attacked, because these monsters can only use normal attacks. But it's not usable on floors with bosses, so don't think it's a instant win button type of thing. Against bosses, I mean. And yeah, as you can see, like monks are kind of like ninjas where they have various like special abilities based on their type, but they all appear in a group at once, kinda. And this is the hot spring, Peach Hot Spring. It lets you heal HP and strength, so I'll go ahead and do that. And we're sitting pretty good with items, honestly, so we could just rush the rest of the way, but I think I'll check out this floor and then start skipping from the next one, maybe? Drain Slayer, that's nice. And if you see an enemy sleeping in a room, as long as you don't walk adjacent to them, they won't wake up. But when you enter or exit the room, they have a chance of waking up. So this time that monster didn't wake up, but it's just chance-based, if it will or not. Let's see. Don't really want to get rid of anything. Guess we can eat an onigiri. We have quite a few stocked. Okay, so this is now Fire Spew Mountain proper. And I'm going to start rushing to the next floor instead of like exploring, because enemies start to hit pretty hard, as you can see. Fire Ninja dealt 36 damage. Let's see. we already have enough items for the boss fight to win like pretty comfortably, so there really is no point to like fully exploring floors from this point on. If we had stronger equipment, it might be worth it from like a collection standpoint, like finding rare stuff to take home, but for the first time through, it's just a little risky, I guess. I mean, it's doable, but overall questionable if it's worth it. So this is an explosion. It has 120 HP and lower attack and defense, but if its HP gets low, it stops moving and turns red. And then if you deal damage to it and don't defeat it, it explodes at that point, basically. And when it explodes, it reduces your HP to 1, so it's quite bad. What am I doing? This is not looking too good. Thankfully that monster went down. Oops. Okay, I'm just gonna read a fixer scroll. When you're surrounded by 2 or more enemies at the same time, reading a fixer scroll paralyzes all enemies that are adjacent to you, on top of healing your HP, so. And I'm using poison arrows to decrease the amount of damage I take from enemy hits. And again, scrolls dry off when you advance to the next floor, so it's not that big of a deal if they get wet, as long as you have other items. So this is basically the last stretch of the main story dungeon, Mount Jato, which is like the main, I guess, neck or like of the serpent portion of Serpentcoil Island. And monsters generally spawn like a little bit faster starting from the 23rd floor, so that's another reason why you want to start skipping ahead instead of lingering, because it's easier to get overwhelmed by enemies. And so this is a monster called Dazed Radish. It throws confusion grass within a 2-tile radius, even if you're not in its direct view. So it tried to throw confusion grass at us and it missed, so I threw it back at it. And despite having like a tricky special attack, it actually has pretty high attack power too, so. And Undulu is a monster that disguises itself as an item, and if you try to use it, it reveals itself like that. And it has pretty high attack power, so it's kind of a pain too. That does not look too good. So there are some water tiles over there, and one trick you can do if you have a vaulting staff is swing it and land on a water tile or air tile to warp. And like that, like I just did. And then there's a chance that like it would put you into a worse spot, but it can sometimes work out in your favor. And there is one last village called Icewall Village after the 26th floor. There's an inn and a shop here. And I'd like to buy... this Fuma shield would be nice, but 6,000 is kind of spendy. I'd have to sell the caching pod, which I guess I could, but I wanted to save it for the boss to show something to do with throwing Gitan. Yeah, I don't think I'll sell anything. Might as well use the inn, I guess. Bracelet. Identifier just in time for the new bracelet we found. So rapid fire bracelet's pretty handy. Basically it lets you shoot 2 arrows per turn instead of 1 arrow. And also increases the accuracy of your projectiles by quite a bit. And it's pretty common, so I'll go ahead and use it for this run. It's not like as broken as like Monster Find Bracelet. And I do have a Dragon Killer, but I'm going to take a lot of damage if I get hit by a normal attack by a dragon. Which I'm sure we'll see in not before too long. And let's see. Counter shield. Ugh. And Vile Scorpions decrease current strength by 2, so they're pretty mean. And this is the floor I was saving the mapping scroll for. The last floor before the boss. Just because there are a lot of monsters that are just pretty mean, and pump liches, I think they're called, can pass through walls as well. I do want to save some arrows for the boss though, so I think I'll start using paralysis stabs instead. We have plenty and it's the last floor anyway, so... And one thing we want to do is swap some inventory items with Giton. Oops. Let's see, we don't need any more onigiri for this run. We could save some for the next run, but we have revival grass, so not a big deal to use them up. Oh, a blank scroll. That is a scroll that lets you write the name of any other scroll you've seen in the game before, and it lets you use that scroll as if it were that scroll, I mean. So early on, like when it's a new save file, it's not as powerful, but once you unlock some of the stronger scrolls, it's quite nice. So yeah, we are ready for the boss. More than ready, actually. Items like power-up grass, invincible grass, swift grass are all great because it buffs the player side of things. And one thing you can do, like, is save confusion scrolls to start off the fight without enemies tracking you directly. And the boss, it wears off for the boss really quickly, but... And narrow escape staff is effective, surprisingly, even though it's a boss. And yeah, you can throw Giton high value Gitan bags to deal a lot of damage. That was 248 damage I just did. So I can throw another one, 320. And if I throw another one, it's going to end the fight, so I want to show off a little bit some other stuff first. Like if you set a sanctuary scroll down, during a boss floor, like I said, it just says there won't be any effect if you place it in a mysterious place. But it does allow you to pick it up again, so it's not like you actually lose it necessarily. And another trick you can do is power up grass also affects arrows. And so if you do like swift power up and then shoot iron arrows with rapid fire bracelet, you can deal a lot of damage very quickly. I think I might have showcased that in the Switch version too, come to think of it, but yeah, there are lots of different ways you can tackle this boss. Once you get used to it, it's like really trivial fight, honestly. But at first it can be very, I don't know what the word is, daunting. Like, having gone through all that, like 30 floors of a dungeon to face off with a boss, and if you're playing blind especially, like, you don't know what it does exactly, so which I guess I just realized I forgot to explain what it can actually do to you. When it's adjacent to you, it can poison you to slow down your movement or like action speed, and it can make you trip and drop items on the ground. It eats other monsters that are adjacent to restore its HP, stuff like that. Yeah, I'll probably like actually show what it can do move by move when I play through the Serpentcoil Island main dungeon as Asuka later on. But yeah, I think this was a pretty good run. Nothing too broken spawned item-wise, I don't think. Monster Find bracelet did appear, but we decided not to use it to try to preserve some of the balance, so I think that worked out nicely. And weapon and shield strength ended up not being too crazy, so like 10 to 12 is maybe like average by the end, and I think we were right around there, so yeah, that was fun. And yeah, so this was the Steam version of Shiren 6 to start with. The main story dungeon as normal Shiren with all the regular overworld areas and whatnot. And I won't be able to unlock Asuka immediately, so the next video won't be playing as Asuka through the same dungeon, but I'll try to unlock her pretty soon and do a playthrough of the main story dungeon as her to like try to showcase how she's different from Shiren, because she is a pretty fun character to play as, and I think it's worth the cost of the DLC combined with the additional dungeons you get. But yeah, anyway, the ending is long, so I'll just cut this video short here, but we'll continue next time from the second run of Serpentcoil Island and unlocking some of the post-game dungeons. So yeah, thanks for watching, and glad to be making videos again. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I won't burn out again and like stop suddenly, but I think we'll be good this time. I'll try to see through to the end of all dungeons. So yeah, thanks for watching. Catch you later.